So we're now in Photoshop. It's almost nice to get out of ZBrush after all those lessons. So what I'm going to do is open up one of the files that we saved out. I'm going to open up the color file first, get the texture, the diffuse texture worked out. So this is the colors that we're going to apply. And just to sort of prepare for use in UDK and just to save a little bit of space, we're actually going to apply something to an alpha channel. So I'm just going to add a new channel here. It will default to an alpha channel, so I'll say yep. You can call it alpha. Now the alpha channel that we'll be using will be for our emissive property of our texture, and emissive is everywhere that we want light to emit from. Now the emissive portion of our texture is going to be these sort of yellowy orange bulbs here. Now it was sort of in the back of my mind to make sure that we could select these fairly easily, because the rest of the texture is pretty much all red. There's some blue here, but this is the only area where there is a lot of green in our texture. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to the green. I'll just switch those off. Come down to the green channel. I'm just going to hit Control A to select everything, to put a selection around the whole document. Control C. Then I'm going to come down to Alpha and Control V. There we go. Now, and I'll Control D to get rid of that selection. Now, the brightest area is our little eye, glowing eyes here, but you will notice that there is some green, or there was some green in the rest of the texture, which will, if we leave it like this, lead to a small amount of emission, or a small amount of light being emitted from pretty much the whole texture. Now we don't want that. Perhaps something to try later on if you wanted to have a sort of a dull red glow over everything, but I think it would be better if we just have these sorts of light emitting organs being the ones that emit the texture or emit the light. So with this alpha channel selected, I'm going to come up to Image, Adjustments and Levels. I tried using brightness and contrast, but I find that this is probably the best way to do it. We just drag this end of the slider. This is where our the black level of our texture is. If we just sort of drag that to the right, you can see that we more or less just get rid of everything that isn't sort of nicely bright white. And then if we just drag our white end of the spectrum down, you can see that we have this sort of lightness coming through. We're starting to get some of this ridge back, so we're just going to burst that there. And so yeah, that's pretty much only that area there, so I'm going to say OK. And so we are we have an alpha channel which only has this area. What I might do is I just did a magic wand selection of the black portion of the alpha channel, and that's using a tolerance of 2, anti-alias enabled and contiguous. So with that selected, first I'm going to press a single delete, and you'll notice that black is my secondary color here, and so tapping the delete key once should fill all of that with black. Then I'm just going to come up to my selection and modify it, and just feather it. Now how many is good pixels? We know that this is 1024 by 1024, so let's try just something fairly low like 10, and then if we hit delete, you can see that we're just sort of softening out those edges there. And that's just so that the nice sort of orangey, or the nice sort of bright yellowy colour in the middle is where the main amount of our light is going to be emitted from. So I'm happy with that. I'll leave it like that. We can switch back on the RGB, and you'll notice that everything looks red. That's because our alpha channel is set to display red. If we can set it to display as a selection. It doesn't really alter it. If you wanted to, you could. We've got two alpha channels here. Just going to delete that alpha 1. We do have that alpha channel though. Okay, so if we switch that back on, no, it's we can switch off that alpha channel if we wanted to, and I don't think that would affect the overall image. Just going to check to make sure, yep, our alpha channel is still how we want it. I don't think it would affect the way that we save the image, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to make sure that the alpha channel is visible. And then I'll come up here and save as, and just going to save it. Make sure that the file type is something that supports does support alpha channels. So make sure that the alpha channels checkbox is still enabled and isn't grayed out. So I'm just going to save it as might save it as RGBA, and that's for red, green, blue and alpha, just sort of as a reminder that we have all 4 channels there. So I'm going to save that there. Yes, I'll replace that. And it's going to be a 32-bit texture because it's got 4 channels, not just 3, and Windows file format's fine. And so there we go. We've got a color and alpha, or color and emissive, for use in UDK, and we'll be plugging those into both diffuse and the emissive channels in our main node. Alright, and the other texture that I'm going to save for use in UDK is it's a lot simpler process. Just selecting the normal map, and I'm control clicking on displacement to open them both up. And first I'm going to go to the displacement map, Control A to select all, Control C to copy, and I can close this one now. I'm going to come to the normal map, and as I did before, I'm going to add a new channel, call it alpha, and I'm going to Control V to paste the displacement map as an alpha channel in our normal map. So if we select all of that there, good. Now I'm going to save this as, and I'm going to save it as a bitmap. I'm going to save it as norm plus A, so it's a normal map plus an alpha channel. And yes, replace that. 32-bit Windows format, that's fine, and there we go. Now the alpha channel may require adjustments, and we can either do that in Photoshop, we can bring it back into Photoshop, or hopefully we'll be able to do something about that in UDK with nodes and our material setup. So with those files saved out, we're ready to go to UDK.